Alright guys, today going to be another widely requested video, and that is my top 5 budget steals. So just like the other one, we'll go ahead and start at number 5 and work our way up to number 1. We'll talk about each one, different things that I might have to say about each one. CR18, that is going to be number 5, and I'll talk about in a minute. I have nothing against 9CR18, but it wouldn't have made this list for just one simple reason. We'll get to that in a minute. Sandvik uses a lot of 9CR18, and it seems to be done pretty well across the board. These are their sub brands, around $40 or so. I find 9CR18 to be quite a lot like the Sandvik stuff when you actually use it. So, strops back really well, comes up really crisp. Don't have much else to say about it. It's not bad. I like it much better than a lot of the other stuff that's out there that isn't on this list. So we'll leave that one at number 5. Now, number 4 and number 3 are kind of going to be combined together, and we'll get to why in a minute. And that is 12C27, and 14C28N. These are going to be number 4 and number 3. And the big reason why is I've used both of these more than a lot. I've used both these steels for a long time. I can't tell the difference in use. It is so close between 12C27 and 14C28N that I can't say one is far superior to the other. If these weren't marked, and Kurt did give me another one of these in 14C28N. My youngest wanted it, so I will get it back at some point here soon to test. But I just can't tell the difference. They both sharpen up about the same to me. They both drop back very well during use for maintenance. The great thing about these is not only were they made for mass knife production, even when they're running the 55, 56 range, they still perform very well. I don't remember. I will have to go back and look, and if I can find it, I will let you guys know what this one tested at, because Kurt did test this, and then later on tell me what the hardness was. Yes, this one has also been tested, as well as the Manly. Don't believe the Harns was never tested, but I know the Real Steel was. So if I can find out the hardness on these, which somewhere I have the paperwork. This is going back when Kurt was still doing PMI scans and everything. And I'll figure out what the hardness is. But I know they're all in the, I believe this is high 55, maybe 56. And I know these and the real steel were 57, 58, somewhere around there. But if I can find the paperwork, I haven't packed it yet. I'll put the exact numbers in the description. But 4 and 3, in no particular order, the Sandviks right here. Now, I said 9CR18 might not have made the list, and I don't have the only knife I have in Nitro V is still out on loan. Had I had that here, that definitely would have made the list. Along with the Sandviks, I find that Nitro V is a whole lot like 14C28 in use, and even the Perpetua that I have at 58.5 did well, did good in use, straps back well, same as the other ones. Now here's where the list is going to get a little different, and as of late, this steel has it's cheaper. It's definitely becoming a budget steel, and we're seeing tons of it on some lower dollar stuff. And that is S35VN. Now, we'll go ahead and say before I get started, there are a few S35 I've used that I would consider to be a premium steel. CRK, Demco, those are done, they're done well. They perform way above the stuff that Cold Steel uses and a lot of these other companies are putting out. Now, I haven't tested this one. I've had this knife a long time. It's the Factor Iconic, the regular size, and these were under $100. Now, I know talking budget, that might be pushing it. As I said, though, lately, QSP put out the Penguin in S35 for $60. There's a few other companies putting it out cheap. Some of the Cold Steels, if you watch, the price fluctuates. The code 4 is usually around $70, $75. Some of the blade shapes are cheaper. Asher Knife Company, $60, $70 range for some of their models, S35. So S35 definitely becoming a budget steel. As a budget steel, I like it. As a premium steel, it's one of my least favorite steels. Not saying anything bad about it. I just don't feel like S35, for the most part, the way it's done, is anything but a budget steel. So number 2, S35. I will get around to testing this at some point and get you guys some numbers on that. Number 2. And number 1. 154 cm. Now, this also used to be considered a premium steel. I still like 154. I bought this maybe sometime in the middle end of 2018. The normal price on these for a long time was $28. So, bought one for me, bought one for somebody else. Couldn't beat the price. It is just as rigid as any of the plastic Benchmade or Spyderco stuff that doesn't have any liners. Super comfortable, no clips. You do have to sheath carry it, but you're getting a solid, I did test this, you're getting a solid chunk of 154 cm. Still the price is around $55, I believe. Still a good deal. Great for a camp knife or a work knife or something that you don't mind throwing it on your belt. Now, this is just to represent it. I understand this isn't a budget knife. I don't have a ton of 154 cm at the moment. Do have a couple Benchmades with it. But besides just this one example, there are a whole bunch of the Kaiser Vanguard line that come in 154 cm. There's some other Gerber stuff that comes in 154 cm. Manly offers 154 cm and CPM 54 in certain models. A lot of them are down in the budget range. And the Kershaw Launch Series. Yeah, it's the powdered version of 154 cm. They start around the high $60 mark for the Launch Series. So there's plenty of options out there. Now, as much as I like the Sandvik stuff, when something like this is approaching $70, yeah, sure, some of it depends on what you like. However, if you're just looking for some really good performance for a good price, something like this, there's many of the Kaiser models, and you can find it. It's not terribly hard to find the 154 cm. Now, this one's out here because even with my other list of top 5 steals, you guys can see this is, the stonewash doesn't really show anywhere, but this is something I carry way more than a lot of other stuff, and it is 154 cm. So we'll go ahead and put these out, show them all. What would you guys' budget steel list look like? This is mine, 9CR. Like I said, if I have my Nitro V, this would be off the list. Then it would be the 3 and 4, 14C and 12C, S35VN, and like I said, with what a lot of companies are doing this for anymore, I think you're going to see a lot more S35VN getting down in price in the budget market, and 154 cm. So that's my top 5 budget steel, why I like them, where you can find them. And if you guys want any suggestions of where to find some less expensive S35 or 154 cm, just message me on Instagram, email me, whatever. I'll go ahead and put you in the right direction. That's all I have for this one. As always, I appreciate your time, and thanks for watching.